Oh wow, Monday was just like 10 minutes ago, and now it's Friday all of a sudden. Right now, I guess that is life. Goes by quickly. Good morning, and you're welcome to another
Especially if
edition.
you've been envisaging Friday since Wednesday.
No, Maestro, don't let us do this. Well, at least, yeah, let's keep our relationship cordial.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, so it's another beautiful Friday right here in the Koleamzat studio. Of course, this is Akidibo 88.7 FM Ibadan. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and as you have heard, I'm in the studio with the great maestro today as usual. I'll be taking you through the front pages of the daily newspapers after which our analyst in the studio, yes, the great maestro, would help us in dissecting these stories, what they actually mean for us as citizens of Nigeria, whether living in this country or not. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, we have the details concerning the protest, hunger protest. This one says, what we lost during protest, traders, transporters. A couple of writers to that one. This one says over 5 billion naira worth of goods looted. That is coming from a Kano businessman. Our supplies truncated. Borno Yobe traders. Another one says in quote, we are caged in jaws. And the final one says a curfew relaxed in state. Going through other front pages of daily newspapers concerning the stories of the protest. On the front page of the Punch newspaper, this one says, victims' families recount ordeals, demand a bailout on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. The writer to that story says, Gombe, Kano traders, Katsina churches count losses, Borno families relieves pain. Another story concerning that is a story on the front page of Vanguard newspaper, coming from Afenifere to President Tinubu, saying probe killings, a call for military intervention during protest. All right, now back to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. The Squire as security operatives raid NLC headquarters. We discussed that story yesterday. I guess we'll be discussing more about it today. The federal government suspends a plan to sell 40,000 naira subsidized rice to civil servants. Former CAF president Isa Hayatu dies at 78. Address poverty or compromise future generations. Action Aid tells the federal government. Moving on to the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Atiku, Obi, the CSOs, others, a few move a raid of NLC headquarters by security agents. A couple of writers to that. The first one says, we are still shocked by invasion. That is coming from NLC. ITUC, TUC demand investigation. IGP must fish out the armed invaders coming from SAN Femi Falana. Raid, a sign of Tinubu's disregard for democracy. That one is coming from Adinyoju. Gas development will drive Nigeria's prosperity, reduce the cost of living. That one is coming from Ekbo on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. OPEC says the Dangote refinery's product supplies to disrupt Europe's oil and gas industry. Page 20 has details of that story. Manufacturers incur 1.5 trillion naira forex losses in 6 months. Page 20. African Human Rights Commission seeks a probe of brutality of protesters, journalists. Page 4 has details to that story. NNPCL demands a 4.7 trillion naira petrol imports a refund. The writer to that story says forensic audit of 2.6 trillion naira NNPCL subsidy claims still ongoing. FAAC panel. Page 21 of the Punch newspaper has details to that story. Dangote refinery designed to process Nigerian crude. That one is coming from Mr. Dangote himself. All right, these stories alongside others are what we have this morning making the rounds, and we shall be discussing some important ones as much as our time can permit us today. Good morning, Maestro. You're welcome.
Good morning.
All right. Hope it's been a great week so far.
We thank God for His mercies always.
As always. All right then. Before we go into the issue of the protest this morning, let's just take another turn concerning the NLC headquarters invasion. We've had people. We talked about it yesterday.
Yes.
And you said the only problem you have with it is there was no warrant.
Yes.
That's the only problem. But we have people talking.
Every other thing is irrelevant. You see, people are just playing politics. I wish this is how we rise up, every time this kind of thing happens to every Nigerian. They are being hypocritical. It happens,
because it's NLC.
This happens every day to Nigerians. Police brutality is a fact in this country. It's a reality of our lives. But you see, when you see these masquerades come out of the grove like this, they are playing politics. Politics. There's politics in activism. There's the benefit. These people have to explain, one, why they went to invade that place without warrant. Two, what did they go to do there?
They carted away documents.
What warranted all that? They need to explain those things.
In line with the protest.
And these guys know that, it doesn't require some kind of all this noise. Who went there? IG. Who went there? Why did they go without warrant? Those are the questions, and we take it in our stride and we move on. But for people to now be celebrating it, I don't understand it. Otherwise, let us create a standard of celebrating this thing every time it happens to all Nigerians.
Not just NLC.
So I don't buy these things. Sometimes it's nauseating. The kind of politics we play in this country is so petty, and the unsuspecting person will believe that, oh, okay, they are fighting, they are this and that. It's all lies. They are not fighting for anybody. They are playing their own politics. Can you imagine Alhaji Atiku Abubakar now saying, he's fighting for NLC? In his convoy, as vice president, journalists were beaten up by his aides. That time he was in power. Journalists beaten up, his camera destroyed. So people who don't know the tales, they say the tale of the tape, maybe in boxing. You don't know the history of these people is when they will be doing some things today and people are jumping around.
How about SA and Femi Falana?
I don't really. We don't go by names. We don't go by names.
It said IGP must fish out these masked
that's all.
armed invaders.
That is all. It's not even about fishing out. It's about asking the IGP the important question is why did you go there without authorization? That's the first thing. Fishing out, he knows now. He knows more than anybody else. How many times have you been asking for people to be fished out in this country and it doesn't happen? They might not fish anybody out. And we will gloss over the vital thing here. Because that's the key that unlocks that kind of invasion. And that's the key that we must deal with. Why did you go there without a warrant? Because if you went there with a warrant, then you must have convinced a court that this is what we want to go and do there.
Is something
and so
we
it
need
is
to get
justified.
from
You understand? But are we now asking that question? We are not asking that question. We are saying, fish out the people who went there. What did they go to do there? As if that's what we do to every Nigerian, that this police brutality happens to.
Okay.
So the point here is, why did you... And IG, let him answer that question. Why did your men go there without a warrant, a search warrant? That's where we begin to, get serious about issues. The Jardine Oju is saying what?
It's saying that what happened at NLC headquarters is a sign of Tinubu's disregard for democracy.
So you see, it's politics, and it's politics of distraction. Now everything, you go around to Tinubu's door. Does it make any sense? Is it just happening in this country? Police brutality travels with the history of Nigeria.
With or without the president?
Whatever. It travels with the history of Nigeria. Police brutality is here. And so if you genuinely seriously want to address it, you don't begin to distract us by saying, oh, it's Tinubu that... What is the meaning of that?
According to what NLC said yesterday, they said that this is in line with the security demand, in line with the protest.
The Tinubu that NLC just gave 3 bosas is the one that is now what? So we need to make our people, especially, serious listeners, listen to, the beats of the time. That is the truth. We are not saying you are not eminent here, you are not this and that there, but you see, why are you defocusing? The key question, why did you... We know that police could go anywhere.
Okay.
They could go and do their stuff anywhere. The first question and the key question is, why did you go there without a warrant? Number one.
Okay.
So, when you finish explaining that, we will now look at your conduct there. So, did you beat anybody up there? Did you destroy things? What did you do there? That's the second thing. And then, don't distract us by talking about inanities. Let us focus on what happened there that is wrong. And the first thing that is wrong there is, you went there without court, which I have said already.
Yes,
we waste a lot of time by attending to all these folks.
And so we're expecting NLC to say something today, because
it's not just NLC.
They said
the IGP should be saying something today.
Why?
That's the point. But when you begin to flail in all directions and then you are distracting everybody because you want that focus to be on you, that you are talking hard, you are talking tough, you are an activist of great note. So this is this about Tinubu thing. And then we will now start arguing about
then
Tinubu.
It's starting to become APC, PDP
And
thing.
then all the funny fellows will be creeping out of the woodworks and be talking Tinubu now. We'll be talking APC now. We'll be talking this and that. Instead of focusing, treating this thing. When the time comes for a Tinubu talk, we will face it. But let's not just be messing everything up like this. So, beneath the Tinubu talk, if we follow them there, the IGP will be missing somewhere in the conversation. Those guys who went there without authorization will be missing in the conversation.
Just Mr. President.
We will now be concentrating on a president that has immunity. You can't do anything about him.
All right, then. Let us talk about their hashtag hunger protest, because now we have two sides, more like two sides of a coin. We have the African Human Rights Commission seeking probe of brutality of protesters and journalists. And then we have Afenifere telling Mr. President that probe killings. And then they're calling for military intervention.
Which of the Afeniferes?
How many? Maestro, we do not have two Afeniferes.
You have two. That's what you don't know.
Oh, this is Afeni. Just
there are two.
There is
you
no
have
separation.
The one led by Paruben Fashionati. You have the other one led by Payo Adebanjo. There are two.
This one is coming straight from Afenifere. Not there's no they didn't differentiate. Maybe this is from
If you read 2 paragraphs, you realize the faction that you are talking about.
It's not there. That is what is written on the front page of Vanguard.
You haven't read
it. But then calling for a problem of killings and also for military intervention during protests.
Because Rura, it's important for you to know which one you're talking about.
Okay.
There's one headquartered in Lagos. There's another one headquartered in Ondo State. So if it's not the Ruben Fashionati, it must be the Payo Adebanjo. There are two, and they've been in conflict for a while.
Sure, that one is there. All right then. Now, what about the African Human? While I get to that, the African Human Rights Commission seeking the probe of brutality of protesters and journalists.
Proper. That is proper because we have to audit.
Sure.
After all said and done, we have to audit. We have to know what we gained. We have to know what we lost. And then we have to see if people have been unjustifiably brutalized in the process. All those things have to, in a decent society, those are the things that must happen after this kind of event. It wouldn't do for police, for instance, to have shot somebody needlessly, and then we simply let it go.
Is the Chief Ayo Adebanjo?
That's the Lagos faction.
Yeah, the Lagos faction.
So, and you see, they don't talk in the same direction. That's why I was asking. It's key. If one is going like this, the other one is going like this, because they were together before until they split. But let's just set that aside when we now know. And those were the Lagos people, the Payo Adebanjo faction. They don't have a lot of goodwill towards towards this administration because, if you recall, they bagged Peter Obi.
Yes.
Peter Obi was their
during
preference.
The election.
And the hangover is still there. Just like with a lot of people, the hangover is still there. So the point, however, is that we have to audit. And we have to know precisely what happened. That's the culture in decent human societies.
And the treasonable call for military intervention as well.
Well, we have to check. The police are even working. The security agencies are working on that. They've arrested people. They have done this and that. So what we need to do about that is we just track it. Because we're talking about Taylor, who sold a lot of Russian flag and so on. I hope we will not just go and be punishing somebody who's innocent, who's doing his business. I hope so, because, if somebody comes and gives you a job that you should sow these things and they pay you, won't you sow it? You sow it and be happy that you're making a lot of money from a contract.
Especially when he doesn't even know what it means.
That's why I'm saying that's the thing that we need to know, that we're not just going after an innocent person. So that also has to be said. No matter how bad that is, that treason thing, waving flags and so on, we need to get to the heart of it in order to ensure that the innocent does not get punished.
All right, then. We have to go pay some bills. When we're back, we'll talk about some other things, such as the 40,000 naira rice that they said now it is no more. True or not, we'll be back.
88.7 FM.
ilé ìtajà fóònù kan bẹ́ẹ̀ bàdàn iShow Gadget ní jẹ́. ọmọ tán sọ̀tàn tọrọ bá di kata ojúlówó àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìpè ìfọ́nìbàárà ẹni. láì ní mọ̀kàrúrù kankan nú. àwọn tó ti já sí tẹ́lẹ̀ òní bòmíì tí wọ́n ti ra ẹ̀rọ fóònù ju iShow Gadget lọ. ṣé ojúlówó fóònù tí wọ́n ń tà ní kásọ ni àbí tẹ̀rítọ̀ yàyà táwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn fi ń dóní bàárà lóhùn. tó ń ta àwọn ẹ̀bùn àmúrelé lẹ́yìn tó bá ra fóònù tán. pẹ̀lú èrè discount rẹpẹtẹ lórí ọjà tó bára tó ń ta àǹfààní ìsan díẹ̀díẹ̀ tí ò lẹ́lẹ́gbẹ́. iShow Gadget káàkiri ilé ìtajà wọn ló ti lè rí àwọn fóònù tó bá gbà mu bíi Samsung, iPhone, Tecno, Itel, Infinix, Oppo pẹ̀lú phone accessories lówó tí ò gòpá. àǹtí bọ̀dá sista bàbá màmá ó yá wa lọ rèé mú fóònù tìrẹ ní iShow Gadget tó wà lẹ́yìn Lagos Ìkòròdú garage Àbáyọ̀mí road Ìbàdàn. iShow Gadget tún wà ní Ọmọlá plaza Bàbá Onílù bus stop Ìwó road Ìbàdàn. ẹ̀lọ́ wọn 07068989929. iShow Gadget nìkan ló ti lè ra fóònù tó bá gbà mu pẹ̀lú ìrọ̀rùn.
Gẹ́gẹ́ bí aláboyún ó ṣe pàtàkì kí n tọ́jú ara mi kí n sì wà ní ìlera pípé.
Kí ìwọ àtoyún inú ẹ lè wà ní ìlera tó péye, máa lo oògùn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ní áyọ̀nù nínú àti folic acid lójoojúmọ́ lákòókò tó bá lóyún. Eléyìí ń dènà àìtó ẹ̀jẹ̀ nínú oyún yóò sì jẹ́ kóyún wà lálàáfíà. Fún ìlera pípé, ẹ máa yọjú sí àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò ìlera yín fún ìtọ́jú oyún nígbà tó yẹ.
Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkànṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Ṣiṣẹ́ àdì tàbí múra iléeṣẹ́ ìhànsọ́tà.
bọ́dún ṣe ń gorí ọdún là ń dúpẹ́ iléeṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours alhamdulilayi kẹsíra ọpẹ́ olórí àdáàdá tán o fọba tó tún fi ṣe àjọ ọdún yìí pọ́n wálé iṣẹ́ hajj ti wá yàtọ̀ sí ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó kò sùn méjì tá a lọ ṣiṣẹ́ hajj níjọba alẹ́ Saudi ti fẹ́ kéèyàn ò ní fi sẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kó ti mọ ibi tí ó gbé kí gbogbo ètò sì ti tò fún gbogbo àwa tá ń jẹ̀ràn kan láti ṣe hajj táwọn wò lọ́ọ̀kan ìtọ́dún 2025 ẹ̀yin náà tètè tara ṣàṣà kẹ́ ẹ mọ̀ bọ̀ sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours èèyàn dọ́ta àkọ́kọ́ 50 tó bá wá sílé iṣẹ́ alálàájì Algaza Travels and Tours láti forúkọ sílẹ̀ fúnṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún 2025 owó wa dín sí àwọn yòókù ṣètọ́jú àwọn èèyàn wa ní ká sọ ni àbílẹ̀ tí ń gbé ní Madina àti Mẹ́kà tí ò jìnnà rárá síbi tán ti ṣiṣẹ́ owó wa ló kéré jù a wà nílé gbàgàdàgbàgàdà tó wà lórí títì tá a pè ní Algaza building lákọ̀ọ́kà bus stop nítòsí ọlọ́ọ̀gùn bus stop Old Ife road nílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn 07032128882 07032128882.
Sure, babe, welcome. Why you for see the food stuff when you carry enter house?
Now the latest millionaire in town, they follow talk.
Millionaire? How? How you take up on me?
Now play and win. Yes, so now every day, 5 people go they win 25,000 naira. 3 people go win 50,000 naira. 2 people go win 100,000 naira. And 1 person go win the grand prize of 1 million naira every week. Oh, if you want join body, just dial *945 *000 *795 plus 250 ash if you be Wema Bank customer, or *966 *000 *795 plus 250 ash if you be Zenith Bank customer, or you fit follow our social media page on Top Play and Win NG for Motori. You fit also call 090 44 444 863 or 090 44 444 896. The more you play, the more the chance you get. Oh, Play and Win dey licensed by the National Lottery Regulatory Commission. Play and win your time to shine.
Guys, let's go and get seats at that table with Semovita.
Sorry, this table is reserved for the bride's family.
Do you know who I am? I'm the older brother of the sister's last uncle who married their first cousin.
Everybody wants a seat at the Golden Penny Semovita table. Golden Penny Semovita remains my soup's first choice. It's made from premium wheat and fortified with vitamins and minerals to provide a wholesome bowl food that pairs well with Nigerian soups. Golden Penny Semovita, my soup's first choice.
Akidibo 88.7 FM.
All right, you're welcome back. In case you're just joining us, do not forget that our Facebook page is there live, Agidigbo 887 FM, where you can get to watch us as we are also talking in the studio. Okay, Maestro, before we move on to the 40,000 naira, right, let's talk about this other news coming from the Payo Adebanjo faction of the Afenifere. This is concerning the Igbo must go threat that's been going on social media. Afenifere has come out to condemn that, saying that this is ethnic. This is something that can destabilize Nigeria's unity and existence, and so it shouldn't be encouraged, especially as it is flying around. I think the governor of Lagos State also issued a statement concerning that, saying they do not know anything concerning that because it is mostly about the Igbos in Lagos.
Okay, so a lot of people have already spoken about this. It's in a very bad taste to be asking anybody in any part of Nigeria to leave.
As a Nigerian?
Yes, it's so ugly. And the president talked about that in his speech. I know many people don't even remember that.
We just want to hear about subsidy.
That he made it very clear that there is no room for that inside this country to be asking anybody to go anywhere. That's what he said. It's been echoed by the governor of Lagos State that there is no room for that. And so it's not a new thing that this faction of Afenifere is also saying now, and it's also the right thing. Everybody should condemn that. You know, it shouldn't be even uttered. But this is where, you know, the danger of social media lies. In the past, you know, the traditional media system, you would have found it extremely difficult to be able to make this kind of statement outside the confines of your room and parlor. You know, but today you could really broadcast just about anything. And that's where the danger of the social media lies, and the dilemma of people who are free-spirited, who don't want to see government regulating the social media. But when you think about the losses, the you know, the downside is so dangerous.
Of social media.
Yes. Excuse me. The downside of not regulating the social media is very dangerous. And this is what you see. You can see Nnamdi, you know, Kanu giving orders to people to go and burn somewhere, you know, to buy people, to, you know, I don't know if you have seen this series.
I did.
So, and I think it's someone like him who's also saying things like Igbos must leave Lagos. You know, when people like that have access to serious media, what they could do with it is really dangerous for the rest of the society. I can easily imagine that, if you took a poll of Yorubas in Lagos today, you will see that the people who are even calling for Igbos to leave Lagos, if you look at them, you might not even want to give them attention at all. That's number one. Number two is their population will be very tiny. And so I also join all Yoruba people and all well-meaning Nigerians who are saying Igbos should leave Lagos. That is very, very dangerous. And it's not a Yoruba statement. I'm certain about that. However, we have to go into where this is coming from.
Okay.
It's all coming from the politics of Lagos. The truth is that you have a lot of Igbos in Lagos.
Okay.
And they're walking, they're mixing. People are getting married to one another. This thing is really ridiculous.
A second, Maestro.
It's 7 a.m. on Agidigbo 88.7 FM.
All right.
And so, when politics comes, if you don't handle politics very carefully, you will lose all your friends. After each round of elections, you are going to lose your friends. You will lose people who have faith in you. You will, depending on how you go about it. And some of those friends that you will lose, you're well off without them in the first place. But there are some that you might lose if you're not careful, if we are not all careful. And so you see that the Peter Obi thing that happened in Lagos was deeply ethnic, as much as the vote for Lagos governor, for Lagos this and that, is also playing out. So where that one came from was actually the conversation of Igbos owning Lagos. That's where this is just like a response to that. That, it is the Igbos who own Lagos, it's the Igbos who developed Lagos, it's the Igbos who did and that. And then it got worse and worse, and to the point that, we want to protest in Lagos. And Lagosians are saying, we don't want to protest. And, they are saying, we are going to protest. So this is where these ethnic things, I do, personally, I see a lot of, positives in ethnicity. I don't condemn ethnicity like most people do, because we all have it. We all belong to ethnic blocks. So there's nothing we can do about that. But with that consciousness must come responsibility. So we mustn't go throwing stones. We can't afford to go throwing stones, because these stones will be thrown back to us. And so that's very, very important. I also want to tell you, let's expand the conversation beyond Lagos. Having established that nobody should be telling anybody to get out of anywhere. Okay. In this country, you have a situation. This is just like maybe a microcosm of what's even happening on the globe today. When you look at the UK today,
what is going on there?
People are saying, get out of our country. When you listen to Donald Trump is saying, get out of our country. And here in Nigeria, this is a confluence of ethnicities. So you have a situation where you don't even know who to tell to get out of Nigeria. Because in the first place, we don't even have official identities. We don't have official identities, and that is the face-off. It's kind of symbolized in the face-off between the late governor of Ondo State, God rest his soul, Governor Akeredolu, and the current governor of Bauchi State, at the heat of that crisis in Ondo State, when people were being kidnapped and a lot of things were happening from the forests. And the governor was going to own the forests of Ondo State. and he said, okay, you guys come out of those forests, come and register, let's know you. And then the governor answered from Bauchi State and said, no, you can't touch them, they are Nigerians. And you know, the truth is that he doesn't even know anybody in that forest, governor of Bauchi. There was nobody who could say, okay, this is the person I'm talking about that I say is a Nigerian.
But still he said they are
But
Nigerians.
he still went ahead to say it because that is how, you know, they rise up to fight for whoever it is that identifies with them. If he's a Fulani, then he's automatically a Nigerian. Never mind if he's a Fulani that is coming from Senegal, from Mauritius, from anywhere.
We have some of them that are not Nigerians.
They are absolutely not Nigerians. Some of them are Nigerians. Some of them are from Mali. They're from all over the west coast of Africa. But the argument here is when they step inside Nigeria, they become Nigerians. And that is why somebody was pointing in the direction of our elections, you know, being fraudulent in that a lot of foreigners vote in our elections. But we have not cleaned up that conversation. We are even not attending to it. So there are a lot of things wrong with this cauldron that was put in place by the British for their own convenience. Because for as long as we are going on with these ethnic battles, they keep on taking away whatever they want to take from us. They have to sustain the chaos so that we would not ever be able to, you know, get our calm.
Making us focus on something else.
To even face them and look at what they are taking away from us and how we want to stop that.
But Maestro, will restructuring and trying to go back to a regional system of government, will it not make this ethnic group should leave this place? This place belongs to us. Will that not make it more pronounced?
No, because now then you will be more homogeneous in your groups. As a matter of fact, it's going to give us a lot of you know, around the country, a lot of energy, you know, and synergy to make progress. Because look, what is happening right now is our cultures clash. You know, in governance, it impedes governance. A lot of things are impeding governance, which are coming directly from these culture clashes that we have. I know that I've had Igbo friends who would look at amala, that you put ewedu on top of it and put pepper on your stew on top of it and everything, and say, why are you pouring, you know, everything on top of the amala? Can't you separate? And I'm wondering, okay, that's culture clash then, or no problem, it's all going to mix up inside of me. So I might as well mix it up before it goes inside. What's your business? And we also have things to say about their own cultures. I'm just showing you these tiny examples that these things are in the way of development. And you see, these colonialists did it deliberately. It's not. If you go and look at how they mixed everything up, as a matter of fact, Northern Cameroon was part of Nigeria before, but they had a referendum, you know, and then Northern Cameroon went away with the main Cameroon. You understand?
Yeah.
But they also ensured that from that moment we never had anything like referendum in our laws. So that we will not wake up one day and say we want to carry out a referendum to go this way or to go that way. So the only referendum we have left, now that I'm aware of, I'm not a lawyer, is the one that says if you want to create more local governments, you must have a referendum in this direction and that
local
direction.
Government creation.
So I believe that, like I said, we should be improving on our conversations, and we should not get carried away by, you know, what some, you know, insignificant, you know, people say on the social media. You see, as you know, curious as it is, this protest thing was developed on the social media.
It was, sure.
Absolutely developed on the social media by people who you probably wouldn't have heard whatever they were saying forever. It was when it gained momentum that the likes of the Juadin just started coming in. And that's why they are now saying, look, I'm not one of the organizers. No, I didn't participate in the organizing. Then what were you doing there? If you did not organize it, why were you leading it?
They were leading a peaceful protest, not this
It
one
doesn't
that
really
turned out to be
matter
something
whether
else.
it is peaceful or not peaceful. Why were you leading it if you did not organize it? Does it make sense? But that's another matter entirely. But I asked myself this question. Somebody would have perfected whatever it is they wanted to do. Then I'll walk along and I'll say, all right, I'll assume leadership of this thing that I did not know. Odo tó bá tójú ẹni ṣú nìkan lòkùnkùn ẹ̀ òkì ní oníṣòro ẹ̀ náà. Ilẹ̀ tó bá tójú ẹni ṣú òkùnkùn ẹ̀ kì í rún ni lójú. But if you got dark behind your back,
You might not know how to maneuver your way. But Maestro, you're saying restructuring and going back to regional system of government is not anything that will make it more pronounced to ask people to leave a particular part of the country.
Is Oshun going to ask Oyo to leave? Is Ife going to ask Elisha to leave? To leave to go where? And you see, let me tell you, because you have a key, point there. There's a powerful, thing about that question you asked. But it's not about us. It's not about, Yoruba land or this southwest zone. It's not about the Igbo southeast zone. Where you are going to have this kind of problem, you will have the kind of problem you are pointing at, you will have certainly in the south. You will have in the north, in the middle belt, there will be that kind of problem that we need to address. I don't see it in the northwest. The northwest is so tight. Northeast, you might have it in the northeast. And it's not going to be on account of ethnicity, really. Though you have multiple ethnicities in all those places I'm mentioning. Because in this country, you have about over 300 tongues, languages. So, but, we have, in some places, we've evolved in certain ways that we can. But yes, the thing you pointed out would happen in certain places. And then we need to address that.
All right, then. Let us move on from that to talk about the 40,000 naira rise that the federal government, we saw a communique last week concerning the fact that there will be, I think, in the wake of the protest thing, saying they are going to subsidize a rice, a 50 kg, a bag of rice for 40,000 naira. And we also saw the registration, they talk about the registration for civil servants, saying they would go first. But yesterday, this picture showing on our Facebook page or screen right now, saying the Federal Ministry of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs Internal Circular. This one was 2nd of August 2024 to all directors, heads of department, heads of unit. Withdrawal of internal circular on sale of subsidized rice to public servants.
Okay.
And this has made people start talking. Okay, are you saying there's no 40,000 naira rice for us anymore, or is it for civil servant, to public servant alone? This has been generating questions.
We'll just wait for them to answer that question. We are not in their office.
There's even no explanation.
We don't work for them, so we will wait for them to. And what I gathered from you is suspension, right? Is that the point?
Withdrawal of internal circular.
There's no
on sale.
There's no suspension on the sales.
No.
Okay, so they're withdrawing it outrightly. So maybe they will ask questions, and we will know why they are doing that. In any case, when they said they were going to do it, some people said it wasn't necessary. They say it's the wrong thing. So I don't know why they are coming back now to be raising it as an issue.
The thing is, concerning some other things, some other issues that were raised at that time, we had the slashing of salary of reps, which July coming up for the July it didn't happen, and they're saying this is due to bureaucracy. So Nigerians are already saying, so because of the protest, you gave us some things, and now you're withdrawing them back. We can't get it. Maestro.
There's nothing I have on that, because the truth is, I think it's lazy journalism to be flowing along with whatever people are saying. If they flow high, we flow with them. If they come down, we come with them. The point is, journalists should be doing more than floating around. We need to understand, ask questions why these people have not started giving what they said they will give. That is intelligent and serious journalism. These ones that are saying they will sell 40,000 naira rice, why are they? You see, you have journalists in all those places. So sometimes, it is not for us to be even, you have journalists and they are dedicated to the National Assembly, and the journalists there, they are making, life is easy. I can assure you, there are packages going on there. So why are they not asking those simple questions? Why did you people say you are going to give this thing and you've not started? You've collected one salary after that, after your pronouncement. Have you, given up on it? Are you not doing it again? That's it. So the thing we should be talking about is why we are not getting this kind of information. This one too, you have journalists there in that ministry who come there and they will have an office there where they will sit down and take communiques and why aren't we having enough information about how this came about? Is it final erasure, or are you still going to return to it, and so on and so forth? So we need to take ourselves to task, and not float around with social media,
because
vibes.
No explanation has been given concerning that. Does this?
So we are the ones, and then these people who pretend to be journalists on the social media, this is a time to be responsible. If it is about banding about Igbos must leave Lagos, now you find it all over the place. Because it's easy, you can do it on your bed, in your bedroom. But this is the key one now. We are not finding them anywhere.
Okay then.
It's a failure of journalism.
So from today, we should be looking forward to maybe if we'll be getting reasons from why this was withdrawn. So we're looking forward to that. Let's go pay some business. When we're back, I will continue the conversation in the studio. We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop? And is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand up pouch.
So much
bárajà lọ́wọ́ oníbàárà rẹ tó bá fi díẹ̀ sí fún ọ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ni nìyẹn.
bẹ́ẹ̀ni èèní ni.
ó yá wá fojú inú wò ó kó ra nǹkan ẹyọ kan wọ́n wá fún ọ ní mẹ́jọ sí i kí wá nìyẹn.
èèní gọbọi nìyẹn.
bàbẹ́ èèní gọbọi nìyẹn tètè lọ ra síìmù Airtel tuntun tìrẹ náà kó wá fi owó ìpè sórí ẹ̀ kó o sì bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbádùn ìlọ́po mẹ́jọ iye tó rà pẹ̀lú ẹ̀bùn ẹgbẹ̀rún kan náírà láti kí ọ káàbọ̀.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
Babies are God's gifts to parents, and breast milk is God's gift to babies. It contains all the important nutrients and minerals your baby needs, including water, for the first 6 months. Give your baby breast milk only. Remember, breast milk only for the first 6 months. This message is from the Anrin Project, or your state's Ministry of Health.
This world is not my home.
Oríṣi ìdí ló lè fà á tí ènìyàn fi nílò láti ṣe ìtọ́jú ẹbí, ará, ọ̀rẹ́ tàbí ojúlùmọ̀ ẹni lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí irúfẹ́ ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti papòdà kó tó di pé yóò wọ káàlẹ̀ lọ.
Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀ ló sọ bá àbèjì. Ìdí nìyí tí Elite Funeral Home fi wà láti bá yín ṣe ìtọ́jú ẹni yín tó ti lọ.
Elite Funeral Homes?
Elite Funeral Homes ló ń rẹ́ndà 100% embalmment tó ní guarantee. Bí irúfẹ́ ẹni bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe wà láti day one ló máa wà throughout the stay láì tú tàbí yọ any part of the corpse.
Mo débẹ̀ mo kọ sára torí àwọn akọ́ṣẹ́mọṣẹ́ tòun ti rinṣẹ́ ìgbàlódé ló kún bẹ́ẹ̀ bíbà fún perfect embalmment and corpse preservation.
Ọwọ́jà Elite Funeral Homes ká orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
Elite Funeral Homes wà ní inú Town Hospital òpópónà Gbági tuntun New Ife Expressway Ìwó Road area Ìbàdàn. ìbàdàn ẹ dẹ̀ lè pé 09043464719 tàbí 08103851516. Elite Funeral Home Luxury Hotel for the deceased.
Ninja unstoppable, who we be unstoppable, got the DNA to be unstoppable. We are unstoppable, go beyond unstoppable, together we are strong. Ninja moves on, we are unstoppable, unstoppable, unstoppable. Sunrise to sunset, the hustle never stops. Ninja giants on the move, we're reaching the top.
Anything is possible with a partner that truly believes in you. Make that move to the Alternative Bank today.
We are unstoppable, go beyond unstoppable. Alternative by your side, you can't go wrong.
The Alternative Bank. Go beyond.
Àbẹ́ ò rí nǹkan ẹ̀bùn pàtàkì látọ̀dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lọ́mọ jẹ́ fáwọn òbí tómi ọyàn sì jẹ́ ẹ̀bùn Ọlọ́run fáwọn ọmọ. Ó ní gbogbo èròjà aṣaralóore pẹ̀lú omi tọ́mọ rẹ nílò. Fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́ máa fọ́mọ rẹ ní ọyàn nìkan. Rántí o, omi ọyàn nìkan fún oṣù 6 àkọ́kọ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti àkọ́ṣeṣẹ́ ARIN, iléeṣẹ́ tó ń mójútó ètò ìlera ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́.
Akidigbo 88.7 FM.
Okay, we're back. And now concerning the 40,000 naira rice, yes, uncertainty as to why this communique was issued. You see, that it was withdrawn so that maybe the style of going about the sharing or ensuring that people get the rice wants to be changed or something else. We'll be sure. I'm sure before the end of the weekend, we'll have more news to that. And then by then we can analyze and explain better what this actually means. So the speculations, still speculations. All right then. Yesterday we had a governor, a particular governor in Nigeria here, saying something, and there is a video to that. We'll take a listen to it, and after which we'll dissect that with Maestro. We're talking about Governor Bala of Bauchi, blaming the federal government's policies and decisions. Let's take a listen to this and also watch this on our Facebook page.
Flags to the 20 PDP candidates, Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed lamented the current economic hardship being experienced in the country.
There is anger and hunger. We have to really address our problems of development. Unemployment is everywhere. Our educational system is not working. The new policy thrust of the federal government is not working. They have to understand that. It is their problems. It is their program that has caused all this problem. On your behalf, I'm telling Mr. President Tinubu to change his policy because it's not working.
Governor Bala Mohammed said with this current situation in the country, the PDP will
because it will be a self-inflicted injury.
On the federal government's disbursement of funds and grain with the state governors, Governor Bala Mohammed has this to say.
I have heard, and with regrettable attention, some of the ministers of the federal government are saying that we have been given 70 trucks. We have been given 500 and something million. How much did the federal government make? What have they done with it? Why should they bring a policy that is causing pain?
The governor used the occasion to appreciate the teaming.
All right, that video is duly credited to AIT. But Maestro, we have Governor Bala saying this concerning the federal government policies. A sitting governor. What do you have to say to that?
It's it's expected to start with. He's a member of the opposition political party from the president, so you expect that to happen. Apart from that, he is also directly in the midst of his people, where things could go, crazy, and he has to make a case, to be in a comfortable position with his people. There's no way in the world that he's going to begin to say he's also responsible for their problems. You see him saying, oh, they said the federal government sent a lot of money to us. How much did the government make?
He said that.
And that's none of his business. What he should be explaining to his people is how much he collected and how he used the much he collected for their benefit.
What did he do with it?
That's what he should be explaining to them. But the governors around the country, even APC governors, are having a nice time, because somehow, the people are fixated like that on the center, and they are not bothered about how their state governments are, attending to their needs. So I think that's what he capitalized on to take his people for a ride. That, okay, this is the percentage that I receive from federal allocation, and this is what I have done with it for you, my people.
She didn't say that.
And after explaining that, you can now point accusing fingers, justifiably. Let's not make any mistake about this. Justifiably at the federal government that, look, while I take this much and I use it like this and like this and like this for you, my people, the federal government takes much more, and so they should explain what they have been doing with it, because they should also be impacting your lives in different ways. But he didn't do that on the day because it was convenient for us around the... See, we mustn't make any mistake. The federal government has been responsible for a large portion of the problem for a long time. One other thing that I laugh at is also picking on people because it's not very intelligent. This is a problem that is very systemic, and we talk about a dysfunctional system. It's not for nothing that people who understand talk about that dysfunctional system, because it's been happening despite people being in and out of office, presidents in and out of office, governors in and out of office. It's been there. And it's been going down. It hasn't been coming up at any point because somebody, this is a great president, and it stood up. For people who find it convenient to do that at points, it's because they don't know, or they choose pointedly not to know, because the indices are always going downwards. So I don't really want to say a lot of things about this man. Is saying the things that you would expect from an opposing politician, and then somebody who is in the midst of all that violence. Bauchi State is not a joke. When it comes to those things, he knows that it's a tinderbox.
Being careful.
So he has to make a case that will favor him, and the last thing is that he's also, I guess, being clever by half, not explaining, what he does with his own allocations.
And just pointing to the federal government.
Pointing at the federal government, which in any case is also responsible. So half truth, half lies here and there. And then, he was able to get through, while in neighboring areas, some buildings were touched, heavy looting was... They still even did it in Bauchi. So, he did what he had to do on the day.
And some people are even raising questions. What has he done in his own state with his allocation?
It's not a question that should even be restricted to him. You see, the intelligence thing, and this is why I'm uncomfortable with average intelligence. You see, the problem, and look, I'm saying that instructively with all sense of modesty, because I also have always been an average student in all my classrooms. So I'm not saying that anybody is intelligent or not intelligent. I'm just saying that when you look around and you hear how we talk and what we say, how we probe issues and so on, you would expect that the easiest thing in the world is to also put the state governments on the burner. That, okay, and I'm assuring you, some state governments will be able to say, this is what we have done with your money. While many might not be able to, explain, but at least we will ask. No, we're not asking.
Our state governors, you have allocations. What are you doing for
Governments,
us?
I don't talk governors. Governments.
The state government.
Governors will come and go. Presidents will come and go.
But the government, the system remains the same.
The system remains there. It's the system that everybody comes to meet and is deteriorating. Every round, it is deteriorating.
Progressive degeneration.
And when you look at our faces all around 4 years ago, 8 years ago, the politicians' cheeks are always rosier than ours.
When they are leaving the office.
Go and check when they came into office and when they are leaving.
I don't want to talk about the particular president, but then I saw pictures before, after.
Everybody. Don't go and look at all the presidents. It's the same thing. Go and look at all the governors. It's the same thing. Their lives get better every 4 years. The politicians' lives get better every 4 years, while the lives of the people get worse every 4 years. So why would we now not be looking at the system which gives them that every 4 years and which gives us this every 4 years? And we're fixated on the personalities who go from us anyway and return to us.
Are you sure they return to us?
Don't they return to us? They always do. They return to us. I'm not saying they are no longer wealthy or anything, but when you are not in that office, you are no longer in that office. And then another person is there who went from us and is going to return to us. So I don't know how we begin to build that kind of mindset which would go after the right things, the right issues, rather than just be fixated on an individual that will soon be out of the place, and another one will come, one that is also from us, because they are always from us. They don't fall from the moon. And when they are going in there, their mothers are going to prayer mountains. If they have fathers, they are going to Asalatu to go and pray that my son should become minister, my son should become governor, my son should become president. We are the ones who have that culture. Okay, when you begin to pray, Wura, for your child to become governor, and you are fasting and praying and doing everything, what do you have in mind?
Intense fasting and prayer to bring money home, to make the family better.
Good.
And
good.
far from,
good.
Let's make the country
good.
better.
Thank you very much for that honest answer.
I mean, we just have to be.
We need to understand more about us. And that will tell us more about our problems. But when we begin to talk about our problems, we go all righteous. The person will carry loud for hand for bedroom. They post something for social media, say you want the country to be what?
All right. Let's allow people joining the conversation this morning. 0704 1001 0704 1001 887 or +234 704 700 8873. But there are rules, so we have to listen to this.
Thank you for your attention. It's been lovely to have you keeping it locked on Agidigbo 88.7 FM. Now is the time to join in the conversation, to have the word, hear your voice, because we are the people's voice. Meanwhile, while you contribute to this program, kindly note that in accordance with broadcasting ethics, you are requested to keep your contributions modest, truthful, concise, and not offensive, inflammatory, or with tendencies to cause discomfort to anyone. Thank you. Now, let the conversation begin.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, studio. Good morning, Maestro.
Good morning.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Yeah, my name is Salawudi. I'm calling from Ododo area.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Yes, I want to talk about the DSS invasion of the Nigeria Labour Congress Secretariat. Let's look at Nigeria now. Nigeria is so fragile that no responsible government, I want to believe that no government with the situation will want to send DSS for no reason. Tinubu has just approved some money for them. I don't see any reason for that. But let us look at Nigeria context and Africa in general and our politics. It could be a different ball game entirely. We have seen so many people in DSS uniform, police uniform, army uniform, terrorizing people all over the place. I want to believe that is one of those incidents. Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Good morning. 0704 1001 or plus 034 704 7008873. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name
Good morning, well done. Wuraola.
Yes, sir.
God bless you. Ayodeji from Ibadan. In my own opinion, I think the federal government should have used most of the money being given to the governors to subsidize some things coming to the citizens directly. The governors may not use it. We all know very well. That's a part. You see, why this government keep feeling that they will leave the key issue. They will be pursuing another thing that is not relevant. A lot of people, you see what Jack said, Joint Action Committee. He told the federal government that they should face how to alleviate the suffering of the people. But I know they will come after them maybe tomorrow. Many people have been saying, the experts, professionals, students say that almost all facets of Nigeria have been coming to condemn the policies and action of this government. But instead of tackling those things, they'll be attacking those people who are talking. That's not how to do things in my own way. And when you want to engage government, you engage a leader who will be ready to listen and yield. Because it's life, give and take. But if the government is not ready to do what people are saying, they are bent to do what they know, as if they know the best, nothing good will happen. That is the problem.
All right.
People are not trusting the president because of the antecedent. And should change the narrative by doing some things that people will know. Things have changed.
All right. Thank you so much
That
for your
is the issue.
contribution.
So
sir.
thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your contribution.
Let me quickly chip in this. You see, when you say people, that's dishonest. What you say is, you are calling with one phone line. You are you. Just say, this is my position. You understand? But when you keep saying people, how many people did they vote you into office of people? So it's not true. Say, this is me. I believe the president is not listening to what I have been saying. I have been suggesting so. The president is not listening. You are not even a chairman of local government and you are saying people. Which people?
Princess.
And in any case, how many people are the president going to, would the president listen to at once of 200 million people?
Well, so we are all still calling on Mr. President.
These are the things that you need to, streamline. I will say, this is my position. I want restructuring. I'm not going to say, despite the fact that I know that a lot of people want restructuring in this country, I will not come on here and say, people want restructuring. No, I want it. I am the one talking about it all the time. So say that.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Your name or where you're calling from?
Ola from Boys Man. I'm calling from Ibadan.
All right, sir.
It is very easy and convenient for people to abuse the federal government and call the president or something. But I think we need to look back and have some kind of reflection. Yesterday, I was looking at the new allocation that was given to various states, and I was blown away. And wondering why people are not asking these people where did they take this money to? And I think Nigerians need to focus their direction and begin to ask serious questions across different tiers of government in this country. That is when we know that we want to do something about our country. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution. We have this comment from Prince Sikirukiwa on Facebook saying, police brutality has been on since time immemorial. But the unfortunate thing is that are we even sure the IGP is really in charge of his duties as a forced chief security officer in Nigeria? Another comment on the Facebook page right here, where you can also drop your comment, of course, which will be read if they are tackling the issues we're discussing this morning. Ibiro Bamuidin says the police brutality has been happening for a very long time, and people who know Nigeria, how Nigeria apparatus works, so we're calling for caution on the youth, but we also turn a deaf ear. All the problems that we ascribe to this present administrations make us to be hypocrites. I could remember the time Governor Basaki called for the then federal government to caution on the printing of Naira to collect allocation. It was Alhaji Lai and Femi Adesina who came after him. And yes, that one is quite lengthy. I'm afraid I can't take him more than that. Kozim Olariwaju Saladin says, I feel that no one should be asked to live anywhere they have settled, as our constitution 1999 has amended frowns upon it. And then there's you, it goes on to be lengthy. Sorry, I can't take him more than that. The person that asked for the Igbesiaye time has been responded to. Ibrahim Adeniji, thank you for your comment. Mafo J. Peter, thank you for your comment as well. I think we've explained for the comments you dropped. There has been better explanations to that in the studio. Why are we not asking the governors questions? So that one is from Vicky Ola on the Facebook page. 0704 1001 Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Taya. Name and where you're calling from.
This is Alabekele. It came from Monia.
All right.
Local government.
Your contribution.
My contribution to this program, to this government and this program is just about what Mr. Maestro was saying. We are all human beings. And you made an expression before you start yours. You said we all have the aim of getting our kids coming, maybe president or something like this. But we don't have good intentions. Like, we are all human beings. We should understand that whatever we reap is what we sow. And we are not the owner of this property. We should think back and look at where we are coming from and where we are going. The masses are suffering. It's not the problem of the government. It is our own personal problem.
All right.
So I used to say, I want restructuring. And I became it. Want restructuring, not people. If you continue to do that, it's not good. I want restructuring.
All right.
The country is in jeopardy. God help us.
All right. Thank you so much for your contributions. 0704 1001 887 or plus 034 704 700 8873. Those are the phone lines to call to join in the conversation this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
Good morning, sister. Mr. Maestro Manager.
Good morning.
Alade from Alaka area. You see, I don't know what's wrong with our government system in Nigeria. They need to listen to the masses, not to their own opinion only. You are not ruling by your own opinion because many people are painful. The important thing now is that since when you are removing subsidies, programs here and there, about buy and selling, now the one thing is that if you cannot pay the money back fully, to make the fuel price come down, to make that easy to the people, as the government of the people. But I don't know what is wrong. May God help us. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Stephen Olusheyi says, good morning. President Tinubu is giving the governors huge amount of allocation and hasn't reduced the suffering of the masses. Instead of giving them that huge allocation, something should be done to reduce the pain of the masses.
Bura, let's also respond to that. It's not President Tinubu that is giving the governors.
The federal government to the state
that's
government.
Coming from federal allocation is statutory. So let's set that straight. The other thing that we must also say is, I hear he should have found a way. We don't understand these issues. Now it is statutory that whatever government makes, whether from subsidy removal, from crude oil, from anything at all, you pull it, and then a percentage of that is going to go to the federal government automatically. And a percentage of that is going to go to state governments automatically, and the last percentage is the one that goes to local government. Now somebody is saying the government should now take it, President Tinubu should take it
to do something else
and
with
then
it.
give the money there. So sometimes you have to, let's be kind to our people who don't understand these issues, but let people also, be soft on their aggression, especially when they don't even understand the issues. The president cannot go and pick the money that belongs to state governments and be passing it to the people directly.
He doesn't have the power.
He does not have the power, but some of our brothers out there are very strong on this thing.
Vikiola says, I think we should start to make our submissions now. And then in capital letter, he wrote, he dropped his own contribution, his submission, and saying, I want a restructuring. 0704-1001-887 or +234-704-70887. I mean, let's us speak for. I'm speaking for myself.
Sometimes, honestly, the program today, really, told me something. That, we should be soft on one another, because sometimes you believe that people know these things, that these things are very simple. But when you hear someone who's been so strong, saying, why didn't President Tinubu take from the allocation and begin to this? Come on, okay, we know how to go about it from here on.
All right, we have to go pay some bills now. When we're back, there is a news saying that Makinde visits Ladoja few days after Ladoja's consent to wear beaded crown. What's the news in that? We'll be back.
88.7 FM.
I'm in love. Sonia tomato mix, stand up. Is it to open? Is it to squeeze? Is it to scoop and is it to stir? Dishes come alive with so much taste. Sonia tomato mix, of course. Sonia tomato mix, yes sir. Sonia tomato mix, stand up pouch.
Sonia tomato mix in a new stand-up pouch.
So much
I am pregnant. It is important for me to take care of myself and stay healthy.
To be strong and have a healthy pregnancy, take iron and folic acid tablets every day when you're pregnant. This prevents anemia and helps maintain a healthy pregnancy. Visit your healthcare provider for regular antenatal care. This message is from the ANRIN Project or your state's Ministry of Health.
My son, help me check this phone. I don't know wetin Junior press. He no dey work again.
Make I see. Mommy.
Wetin happen?
They don't block your line now.
Nobody like to chop blocking, no. So, if they don't block you unto say you not link your NIN to your Airtel line, run kitty go any Airtel shop with your NIN to unblock your line today.
Airtel, a reason to imagine.
We can protect your car, your savings.
Let's not make it boring. Let's make insurance a lifestyle. If you've ever wished your insurance offered you more, then you're in good hands with Hares Insurance Group. In addition to our extensive insurance coverage, you can also enjoy free benefits such as networking opportunities, up to 10% discount on hotels, gyms, spas, and your favorite stores, tickets to exclusive events, and free resources to plan your future. So, next time someone asks you, what does your insurance company give you, sir? Your answer should be with Hares Insurance Group. Definitely much more than insurance.
To enjoy all these, sign up on www.hairsinsurancegroup.com. That is HEIRS. Hares Insurance Group. Simple life is here.
Tell me which kind thing. Viva no fi wash. Chicken for your clothes now, all you need for Viva to wash away.
Agidibo 88.7 FM.
All right. Ajay Olukayode on our Facebook page says, I disagree with Mr. Maestro's school of reasoning regarding when anyone calls using people. People say, even if one is to quote the information you give out to another person, how do you expect it to be quoted, especially when they've heard it from one or two presenters?
One or two presenters are not people. When you want to say, you say, this person said so. But, you know, is it true? Is it honest when you call from one phone number and you're representing yourself to now say people say, you know, people feel? I mean, anybody could. Let's assume that you are even honest. Would you trust the next person who is using that kind of line? What about the next person after that? In this our very corrupt society, you know, we need to, in our open conversations like this, we should be as accurate as possible. I believe so, and then we go.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah.
Your name and where you're calling from, sir?
Olu is the name. Let me leave it at that. Calling from Ibadan.
All right, sir. Your contribution.
Let me quickly rub in my I've been trying because you guys stumbled. Maestro, congratulations. You are now on this platform, new platform.
Wow.
I just discovered let me say like last weekend. In short, let me try and put my point. You know, if you check the tempo of time now, these are harrowing times. They are harsh. So if people are using the word, this is what people are saying. You should check what is the course of the society now. Are people having it fine? So they may be talking from sentiment, emotion, but it's the truth. That is the truth. In fact, the policy the government now is now rolling, sharing formula now. Who made it a law? Who made it statutory? Is it the people? Is it the common man, the man on the street? Is it not the people in the office that made it statutory? That made it bounding on them? Somebody was saying something yesterday. Let me quote that person. One of these radio stations that I used to be vocal like this. He said the local government autonomy that the Mr. President has now put in, or the presidency, he said we should not quote anybody now. That the presidency has now made a statutory now that it goes directly to the local government. They said it's political. He was trying to take power from the governor. But sooner or later we will know the truth. So congratulations, man.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Maestro, any comments?
Well, some things are very valid. And when we keep at them, we are just wasting our time. One person will not be a people. It's not possible for one person to be a people. And you see, when we're having, conversations in enclosed spaces, it's okay. But when we have, open-ended conversations, massive conversations like this, that millions of people are listening in,
broadcasting,
you can use people positively. The next person will use it negatively. So why don't you own your views? You have to own your views when you step up to the podium.
All right. Adebayo Job says, without restructuring, we'll just be merry-go-rounding in a circle. And this one from Kola Mustafa says, why does Mr. President not want to expose all these bad people behind the petroleum problem? Abdul Qadri says, it is just unfortunate. I find that many people do not understand what our problems really is and how to tackle them. We won't be making the right calls if we do not understand our problems. Good morning. Kende Oyeledo, which will take us to the last thing we'll be discussing this morning, says, morning, sir. I think there is a unique thing about Governor Makinde visiting Babaladoja. Mended fence with Ajimobis, embrace their colors. Who exactly is Governor Makinde? This is commendable. Maestro.
All right, so let me tell you that the first thing I will say is be careful when you pick sides, when politicians are up against one another.
This is not the first time we'll be saying
very,
this.
very careful because you are nowhere near them. And you don't even know where that bonds situate. So when they are having a slight face-off and you begin to pick sides, be careful. Unless, of course, you are being strategic in picking sides in your own enlightened self-interest, which we don't do often. We simply pick sides blindly. And afterwards, they just make up and life goes on. The other thing is that question about Governor Makinde. Well, I also observed that there's someone in this country who does not burn bridges, no matter how bad the fight is. And he's been doing that consistently, and he became president. So I don't know if that's what is, the principle of this governor too, because I don't think he burns bridges too. The moment the bone of contention is out of the way, I think he would. So I think it's a good thing.
All right.
Besides, it's fitting, isn't it, that two ex-governors, come together again.
Maestro, your passing short for today and for the week.
All right. Let's be soft on one another. I have resolved, after inside today's program, to be soft on some of our compatriots. They might not even, be mischievous as we previously thought. We might just be limited, in certain ways, and we have to accommodate our limitations. After all, maybe, perhaps we are looking for, the same thing, which is a greater Nigeria.
All right, thank you so much, Maestro. Shola Ojo, I see your love letter again to Maestro this morning. Thank you so much. We'll be moving on and leaving the studio this week to come back on Monday, of course, and next week to discuss about our great nation, Nigeria. My name is Wuraola Yusuff, and this is me saying have a very nice weekend.